Welcome to The Gist. Today, we're talking about why we should all give boredom a chance. The pandemic has forced many of us to reflect on our lifestyles, both at home and at work. As several countries start to reopen, people are navigating social and work interactions. Employers are offering greater flexibility to work remotely, at least some of the time, or even on a permanent basis. It's wonderful that we're thinking more carefully about where and how we work. But a recent Economist article urges us to go even further and pay attention to what actually constitutes work. Should sitting in meetings and responding to emails be considered work? Undoubtedly, both are a necessary part of modern work, but we are all guilty of booking too many meetings and sending too many emails. It's important to challenge these kinds of habitual behaviors. Can the content of an email be handled through a group chat or people collaborating in a shared document? Can a meeting be 15 minutes, forcing all the parties involved to get to the point? Changing these behaviors also creates time for two very important elements of life. First, deep work, and second, boredom. We all understand the significance of deep work, which requires thought, planning, and creativity. It also requires large blocks of time for our minds to think freely, expansively, or in great detail to produce something of quality, whether it's a piece of writing, a work of art, or an impactful speech. Boredom, which is perhaps the opposite of deep work, is sadly less valued but equally important. It is a state where we're not mentally engaged in any specific activity, where the brain can rest and activate its default mode network. This network allows our imagination to flourish in an unstructured way, our ideas to percolate, and our brains to synthesize information. It also allows us to do what's called autobiographical planning, which means reflecting on what we've learned in the past and imagining our futures. Most of us tend to pack our days with tasks, leaving little buffer room in between. This makes us too drained to do important deep work and leaves no time to be bored at all. What's more, we often confuse boredom with leisure, such as hobbies or going on holiday. But true boredom comes from being still and letting our minds wander, or giving our minds room to work peacefully in the background as we're doing routine physical tasks like folding laundry, going for a walk, or enjoying a coffee alone on a patio. The ideas that occur to us during true boredom can in turn feed our deep work, not to mention our relationships and emotional life, creating a virtuous cycle. In our device-rich, doing-obsessed culture, it's easy to be distracted, to resist boredom. A recent study is quite telling, as physicist Derek Muller points out. People were instructed to sit alone in a room with the only form of distraction being a buzzer, which, if pressed, would administer a mild shock to their bodies. Most of the study participants surprised themselves by becoming so uncomfortable after a few minutes of boredom that they chose to hit the shock button. But rather than seeing boredom as discomfort, a waste of time, or an enemy, what if we could reframe it as an investment similar to sleep, exercise, and a healthy diet? The opportunity cost of not letting ourselves be bored is high, according to a recent TED Talk by journalist Manoush Zomorodi. In partnership with leading researchers, she undertook a study called Bored and Brilliant: The Lost Art of Spacing Out, with 20,000 participants to examine cell phone habits and the detrimental effects of not giving our brains any downtime. Her findings show that by robbing ourselves of boredom, we inhibit neural connections that help us connect ideas and promote creative problem solving. She points out that this is particularly important for the young generation who have never known a world without the internet and smart devices. They need to become particularly comfortable with boredom so their developing minds can grow and flourish. So the next time you're about to fill your time with another meeting or reach reflexively for a device, give boredom a chance instead. Who knows where this investment in your own mind will take you?